The pumpkin pie was still warm in my hands, steam curling up into the crisp November air as I stood on the front steps of my parents' house in the suburbs of Chicago. I'd spent the afternoon in my tiny apartment kitchen, measuring spices with the kind of precision that comes from desperation, hoping this, Mom's favorite, might bridge the chasm that had opened between us. The wind bit at my cheeks, but it was nothing compared to the chill that settled in when the door creaked open. Dad's frame filled the doorway, his salt and pepper hair neatly combed, but his eyes were steel. Mom hovered behind him, twisting her wedding ring like she always did when things got uncomfortable. "Emily," Dad said, his voice flat, like he was reading from a script. "This isn't a good time." I blinked, the pie suddenly feeling like lead. "Not a good time? It's Thanksgiving. You said 6 o'clock sharp." Mom's gaze flicked to the ground. "We thought we were clear." "Honey, you're not welcome this year." The words landed like a slap. But it was the glimpse through the crack in the door that gutted me, the dining table set with Graham's antique china, candles flickering, laughter spilling out. And there, in my chair, the one I'd claimed since I was a kid, sat Lauren. Lauren, my old colleague from the firm, the one I'd mentored, now chatting away like she belonged. "Is that Lauren?" My voice cracked, thin as ice. Dad shifted, blocking the view. "She's been a real support during all this." In that instant, it hit me, they'd erased me, swapped me out like a faulty part. The betrayal burned slow, a quiet fire starting in my chest. It had started 2 weeks earlier, in the fluorescent hum of the office at Thompson Wealth Advisors, our family firm downtown. I was buried in client portfolios, cross-checking balances for the quarterly audit, when the numbers started whispering secrets. Transfers that looped through obscure holding companies, funds vanishing into accounts that didn't match the ledgers. At first, I thought it was a glitch. But as I dug deeper, the pattern emerged deliberate, calculated. Money siphoned from trusts, rerouted to pad the firm's bottom line. I marched straight to Dad's corner office, spreadsheet glowing on my laptop. "These don't add up," I said, spinning the screen toward him. "Client funds are being diverted. This looks like embezzlement." He barely looked up from his desk, waving it off. "Emily, you're seeing ghosts. That's just how we stay ahead in this game." But I knew better. I'd built my career on integrity, earning my spot as VP through late nights and honest deals. "Dad, this isn't aggressive investing. It's stealing." His face tightened, that vein in his temple pulsing. "Watch your tone. Loyalty to the family comes first. Drop it." The silence after that meeting hung heavy, like unspoken threats in the air. I couldn't drop it. The faces of our clients flashed in my mind. Retirees counting on us, families saving for college. The weight of it pressed on me, turning sleep into a battlefield of what-ifs. 2 days later, I cornered him again, this time with printed evidence stacked like accusations. The office felt smaller, the family portraits on the walls judging us both. "We have to report this," I insisted. "The SEC will tear us apart if we don't." Dad's laugh was bitter, echoing off the polished oak. "Report your own father? You torch everything we've built for some misplaced idealism." My brother, Jake, the golden boy who'd never questioned a thing, pulled me aside in the hallway afterward. "What the hell? You're risking our legacy, your inheritance, your future here." His words stung, but the real pain was the realization they were in on it, protecting the rot at the core. That night, alone in my apartment, the silence amplified everything: the creak of the floorboards, the hum of the fridge, my own ragged breathing. Betrayal wasn't loud, it was this quiet unraveling, thread by thread. By Monday, the file in my bag felt like a bomb. I'd spent the weekend piecing it together, timelines, transaction logs, victim impacts, Mrs. Keller's pension gutted by 40%. The Rodriguez family's education fund drained. Real people, not just entries in a database. I took the elevator to the top floor. Heart hammering. Dad's office was a war room, him at the desk. Jake lounging like nothing mattered. Uncle Tom, our family lawyer, fidgeting with his tie. "This is fraud," I said, slamming the folder down. "Systematic. And it's got to stop." Dad didn't flinch. "You're overreacting, Emily. These are sophisticated strategies." But I saw the flicker in his eyes, fear. Jake snorted. "You knew about the tweaks to the client agreements last year. Legal protections." Uncle Tom cleared his throat. "Everything's above board. Legally speaking." The room spun. They'd planned this. Built walls around their crimes. Dad's hand on my arm felt like a vice. "Your family. Don't throw it away." But as I left, the doubt crept in, was I the crazy one? The isolation started then. A slow poison seeping into my days. The press release hit like a sucker punch. Emily Thompson on indefinite leave due to personal challenges. Subtext screaming, unstable, unreliable. Clients called, one after another, pulling their accounts. "Your dad suggested we wait until you're stable," one said. Voice dripping pity. My bank app flashed red, accounts frozen. Tied to the family trust. Just like that. My savings vanished behind their control. I sold my loop condo, crammed my life into boxes, and rented a cramped walk-up in Evanston. The realtor demanded extra deposit when my credit pinged weird. Nights blurred into paranoia, sticky notes covering walls. Spreadsheets glowing on my screen. Food tasted like ash, sleep came in fits. Haunted by what I'd lost. But in that hollow space, something hardened, resolve. Born from the ache of betrayal. A knock shattered the quiet one evening, my parents. Uninvited. Stepping into my chaos like invaders. Mom's eyes widened at the paper fortress I'd built. Dad's nose wrinkled. "This ends now," he said, sliding over documents. "Sign this, admit it was a mistake. Get your life back." The offer dangled. Apartment. Job. Family. But their faces, Mom's forced smile, Dad's entitlement, ignited the fire. Normal was the lie, I whispered. Voice steady for the first time. They left. And the door's click echoed freedom. The weight lifted. Replaced by a fierce clarity. Agent Mark from the SEC called next. "Your prelim docs check out. Meet me off the record. At a dingy diner in Wilmette." He scribbled notes. "We need more specifics. Chains of command." My cousin, Lisa, slipped me a drive later. "I've seen the irregularities too. Copies of altered reports." Validation rushed in like air to drowning lungs. Uncle Tom cracked next. His assistant leaking files, his own safeguards against Dad. Even Lauren texted, "We need to talk." The pieces accumulated. Each one a balm to the wounds they'd inflicted. 2 days after compiling it all, I met Lauren at a quiet bar in the Loop. She slid an envelope over. $5 million. Offshore. Withdraw your claims. My phone recorded every word. "A bribe?" I said. Voice ice. Her smile cracked, the admission sealed it. Back home, Lisa called. "Everything's with the SEC now." By afternoon, assets frozen. Headlines screaming fraud. Dad's call came. Voice broken. "This has to stop. Come home." The plea hung. But I savored the shift, them begging now. At their house that night, the air was thick with defeat. Dad by the fire. Mom pacing. Jake glaring. "Take the company," Dad said. Papers trembling in his hand. "Fix it." But I pulled my own files. "This is a restitution fund for the victims." Their faces crumpled, gasps. Sobs. You're choosing strangers over us? Dad whispered. I slid my resignation across. I choose truth. Walking out. The silence behind me was deafening. A final cut. They'd removed my photo from the mantle, erased me long ago. 1 year on. My Evanston home buzzes with new life. My advisory firm thrives on honesty, small clients. Big trust. Thanksgiving table groans under food. Surrounded by Lisa, Mark, Uncle Tom, loyal friends. Laughter heals the scars. A knock, Jake on the porch. Dish in hand. Eyes haunted. My hand pauses on the knob. Forgiveness tempts. But boundaries forged in pain hold firm. I open the door. Breath steady. Ready to see what comes next. The cost of truth? Everything. The reward? Myself.